Good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Major Applications Planning Committee, and welcome to those who may be viewing this on YouTube. I'm not sure how many viewers we'll get for this one. Let me start with apologies for absence, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, apologies received from Councillor Duncan, with Councillor Borough present as a substitute, and Councillor Edwards.
Thank you. Can I have declarations of interest in matters coming before tonight's meeting? Minutes to meeting 21st of August are in the bundles. Can I take those as agreed? Okay. This is a one-item agenda to consider a variation of Condition 9 in relation to the former Nestle site, Nestles Avenue. It is in Part 1. There are no petitions, therefore no speaking rights. Therefore, I will dispense with the rest of the formalities. If I could just remind everyone that mobile phones, please, would be good to be switched off. And without further commentary, Matt, please.
Thank you, Chairman. This is a Section 73 planning application that seeks to vary Condition 9 of the original 2018 planning permission to allow minor changes to blocks D, E, F1 and G, involving the addition of 2 residential units block E, 1 additional residential unit in block G, the reorganisation of 8 residential units in block G, including internal and external alterations involving minor facade changes, the addition of a number of balconies, and the increase in refuse and cycle storage area in block D. I'll just take members through the slides. This is the former Nestle site outlined in red. Another original site layout plan. Another site layout plan. This is the red line plan overlaid over the approved plan. So you've got block E there, which will have 2 additional units, block G here, which will have 1 additional unit, and there'll be amendments to the other units here that are outlined in red. The site is located at the former Nestle factory on Nestles Avenue in Hayes. It is located approximately 500 metres to the southeast of Hayes Town Centre, which, as members will know, is sort of up here off the plan, across the other side of the railway bridge. It is bound to the north by the Great Western Railway and Grand Union Canal, and to the south by Nestles Avenue. Having regards to I've got some photos actually as well. These are proposed layouts for the blocks that are being amended. Obviously quite detailed and difficult to see on the screen, but I'll just take you through them anyway. Some slight alterations to some of the elevations where units have been added, but again, very minor in terms of the overall picture. I'll just take members to the photos. Again, this is just photos of the site at present, which you will see. The construction has already started. That's block D there, I believe. That's the main entrance with the listed facade. You can just see in the distance there. And again, just a few more photos just to show members what the site looks like at the moment. And you can see construction has commenced. Having regard to the extant permission, it is considered the proposal would not be harmful to the amenity of nearby residents and occupants, or to the character and appearance of the conservation area or heritage assets and immediate locality. It is also considered that the level of parking provided would remain unchanged and thus is acceptable, and that the proposed 3 additional units, together with all the residential units, also continue to meet London Plan and local plan space standards. In summary, 3 additional units would be gained overall in blocks E and G. In block E, 2 additional 3-bed units would be gained, along with 8 2-bed units changing to 1-bed units. In block G, 2 studio units and 4 2-bed units would be lost, and 3 1-bed units and 4 3-bed units would be created, resulting in the overall addition of 1 unit. Although some large units have been created, the housing mix remains largely the same in overall terms, and the change of the mix of the units has resulted from the internal reconfigurations and moving internal walls to accommodate larger units. Let me just get to the addendum. Bear with me. Just take members through to the addendum. There are a couple of notes in there. There's an amendment to the first head of term, just to state 35% affordable housing 10-year details as per the extant permission, with an uplift of 9 additional habitable rooms. The reason for that is that the scheme actually, the proposal results in an addition of 25 hab rooms, 35% of which is 9. Therefore, we're gaining 9 extra affordable rooms. There's a revised master plan that was submitted, and there's also a couple of changes to page 10 part D of the recommendation notes to change the date from the 17th of September 2019 to the 18th of March 2020, not 2019 as it says in the addendum. And also just point out on page 87, we just want to add a following comment, officer comment below the Conservation Urban Design officer comments. A mural, I'll show you the members in the drawing just for clarity. Originally this mural that had been approved under the original scheme was to be removed and replaced by an industrial pipework design. This, following objections from the design officer, this is now being reinstated. So just for clarity, we've put that in there. And for the reasons summarised, it is recommended that the approval be granted, the application be granted. Thank you.
Okay, very minor changes to something we've already agreed. Anybody got any issues with it? Councillor Higgins, Councillor Morse.
Yeah, can just officers, I found it very difficult to work out where in the plans these changes were, and I just wanted to, if officers just could briefly show me quickly, because my concern, to be honest, is one that these changes, I can see they won't affect Block E and Block D because the distances and things. I just want to make sure that the views are not skewered in any way, that overlooking issues, because we did have some overlooking issues in that area. So apart from that, I will go with officer's recommendation if that's fine.
Paraphrase the question, is there anything that's affected the distances or anything of that sort? One or two of the distances were a tad tight.
Yeah, through you, just to make sure that there's no issues. I'm concerned of issues of overlooking and, because of balconies and stuff like that. And that's really...
That's about it.
That's about it, really. And that, obviously, you've already said that it's still stated to the room occupational area, which is I'm happy with. So that's really just wanted to make sure, because obviously, and it's a bit sad that they're removing 2 bedrooms. Obviously, I can see that's how they've got more 1 bedrooms in, but I'm just a bit just worried about that. That's all.
Well, the separation distances in effectively the streets that are created aren't changing. So it's
you've got, above block. There's obviously an issue over Block E, which is angled, which we had an issue before. You resolved it, I'm not saying that, but by making the changes on it, I just hope, has it come back?
Yeah, I had a question. I get it. I get that.
I'm probably wrong, I'm just...
No, you asked a question. You can't be right, you can't be wrong. You asked the question, it's a fair question. What we want to just double check is we haven't recreated what we got rid of. Councillor Morse, do you want to file your question in whilst officers think of the answer?
Not to waste time. I notice that this site is deficient in amenity space. I then notice with this approval we're reducing it. If you look at Block D, we're reducing the balcony sizes. You look at Block E, we're reducing the balcony sizes, and if you look at Block G, we're doing the same thing. And if you look further into the report, clearly indicates that a fair amount of the amenity space is provided by these balconies, which we're cutting. Now, there's nothing in the report that tells me the total requirement. We're actually putting a fund, but there's nothing in this report that tells me what the deficiency in amenity space is. And I don't understand why we're allowing it to be cut. That's my question.
96, 97. I thought I had seen it. That's why I'm just...
No, it gives you the total.
Yeah, but it says there's a marginal increase in the total amenity space.
Yeah.
But if the balconies are being reduced, how does that account?
Because we're adding more balconies.
Yeah. That's the simple answer.
So some of the sides have come down, but more units have got balconies.
Yeah.
And that's
so
why it's going on for the overlooking it.
Yeah.
It's not specific in the report.
Well, it does say there is a marginal increase in total amenity space of 90 square metres.
So I know we gain 90 square metres in all forms of amenity space, and we also gain some 3-bed units through the reconfiguration that is a positive that is set out in another section of the report that I was going to highlight to councillors, and I've, just as I said that, I've lost it. There's a
Through you, Chairman. I mean, if it's an issue for officers to find out, I'm quite happy to leave it with you and the Labour lead to make sure that there's no issues of the overlooking with balcony.
Yeah, I think it's minor enough that we can. I'm sure it's been checked, but we'll get the assurance. Matt?
Yeah, in terms of the councillor's question on overlooking, etc., privacy, on page 95, under the internal layout and accommodation section, where it starts paragraph 4.7 of H-2006, goes on to say, significant thought has been given to design of all units located in corner positions to ensure the future occupiers receive adequate light privacy. To this end, louvers and balcony screens are proposed in sensitive locations to ensure high and good quality habitat.
I guess it. I'll paraphrase the council. Well, I think what the council I think the council notes that comment, but what is when we're changing things around that we just accidentally haven't got a new one in a corner that hasn't had the louvers added to it or hasn't had the protections added to it now.
Through you, Chairman, again, we had that in the previous report. We found, well, it was actually, to be fair, Councillor Duncan that found it, and I'm just sort of like just rear-ending.
Yeah, there's so many plans with this application. I'm sure that very quickly after the meeting we can cross-reference the plan with the chairman and Labour lead and say, drawing X, Y, and Z, clarify this point.
Let's just see what they are. Yeah, I'm not accidentally created a problem, and if we have, a solution will be found to it, but it now needs to be found. Councillor Morse, your question, I mean, the amenity space appears to have increased.
Yeah, but I've got no evidence in the report that means I can quantify where you know, like this. In one of the
Councillor, your microphone.
Your microphone for me.
Reduced from 8 square metres to 5 square metres.
Microphone.
Guys, if you take blocky, you've got a clear statement. It doesn't say in the other two items, this is on page 74, balcony size reduced from 8 to 5 square metres. That's clear. But the other ones, it doesn't even mention information, it just says they're reduced.
I did read that. I did read that at some point in my life. Yeah, how are we getting this increase of 90 square metres? I think that's the question. Is it more balconies on the additional units? I think that one, I think we just need to get that, Bill. Okay, yeah, that's sensible. Have we got any more questions on this one before I get these couple of bits resolved?
No.
No. Good.
You'll be relieved to hear.
No, I'm delighted to hear. I'm gonna just propose an adjournment for 5 minutes. I think the officers probably can provide the answers we require if you go with that. So adjourn for 5, and then we will just come back.